The Soul Redeemer, Book 2, Chapter 20, The Plan. Later that afternoon, when Abigail and Aaron had gone, Sam excused himself. Nicole decided to take a borrowed Bible and find a quiet place to connect with her Savior. She lay back against a rock, looking up at the Tetons and the clear sky that had come after a time of dark, oppressive storm clouds and rain. Lord, you brought the rain to refresh and water the land. I trust that you will bring clear skies to my life after these times of oppressive clouds have gone. She opened the Bible to Psalm 23 and heard her master's loving voice. Nicole, don't be afraid of the rain that will come, for this cloud of oppression will not be moved until its rain has fallen. It may feel like a flood, but it is for cleansing and healing, not for destruction. Don't look at the waves. Look at me, and I will lead you beside the cool waters and restore your soul. I will lead you in righteousness and safety, and even though you will walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it is only a shadow, and you must not fear any evil, for I am with you. I will protect and comfort you, and I will deliver you. I give you my rest. Nicole had become so relaxed in the presence of the Lord that it took her a moment to realize that she was being called. "I'm here, Sam!" She got up and started back toward the house. Sam met her part way. "Come with me. We've been given a directive." He led her back into the bunker and closed the door. "I spoke with my contact, and he wants us to go to Chicago." Nicole's mind was whirling. She wasn't used to so many changes in such a short amount of time. "Because of Rosie's Bar and Grill?" she asked. "Yeah, he checked into it and is sure that Damon's there. We're hoping that through him we can get a lead on the location of the clone op." "So that's the plan? You're looking for the clones?" "Those are my orders at present." "What are you going to do when you find them?" she asked. Sam answered, "That's not for me to say at this time." "Is that your way of telling me that you don't trust me with that information, or are you saying that you don't know?" Nicole drilled. Sam looked at her rather sternly. "Look, lady, if you want me to help you, you're going to have to decide to trust me. You've got to stop turning on me when I don't give you exactly what you want." Nicole looked steadily back at him and then relaxed. "You're right, Sam. I'm sorry. When you talked about finding the clones, a million questions went through my mind and about as many emotions." "Apology accepted," he said. "Trust that for now all you need to know is that we need to find the location of the clone unit and put a stop to the plans the programmers have of sending them out into society at large. There are a lot of questions we don't have time to go into. However, you will be given information as needed. Now, are you with me in this or not?" "Yes, of course. When do we leave?" "Soon. But, Nicole, there are a few things we need to take care of before we can go to Chicago." "Okay, what?" "I want you to meet the man I told you about first. He'll be able to make sure that there aren't any open doors that you're unaware of before you come into possible contact with Damon or other Freemason or Illuminati programmers." "How can someone who doesn't even know me know if there are open doors or not?" she asked. Sam answered, "He's an Illuminati ex-programmer who escaped their system, one of the few to be able to do that, and now he works with us. After some of the things you told me, I thought I better call him, and he ordered me to bring you as soon as possible." "He ordered you?" she asked. "So he's your superior?" "Basically, yes." "Wow. What would an ex-Illuminati programmer want with me?" "Nicole," Sam said, "Joel is also a deprogrammer, and he'll be able to make sure that there's nothing left hidden inside your programming that could compromise your safety or our operation." "All this talk about programming, I don't like it, Sam." "I'm not trying to scare you," he said. "I'm trying to prepare you. Just the fact that Damon was able to gain such control over you so easily tells me that we need to do everything we can to make sure it doesn't happen again. Do it for my peace of mind, okay?" "What's this guy gonna do to me?" she asked. "I don't want to be hypnotized or anything like that." Sam answered, "I can't tell you what he'll do, but I can assure you that he is a Christian and he's trustworthy. He can be a little intimidating, but I trust him with my life. I'm asking you to trust him with yours." Nicole sighed. "What if I refuse to see him?" Now Sam sighed. "There's another thing I didn't want to have to tell you, but maybe it's for the best. I'm suspicious that Damon may have implanted a tracking device somewhere in your body while you were unconscious. If that's the case, we need to find it and disable it. Joel will be able to help with locating and removing it. That is, if my theory's correct." "Okay, this is getting weirder by the minute." Nicole shook her head as if trying to clear away the nightmare, and then a thought occurred to her. "Sam, where would they have hidden a tracking device?" "Could be anywhere," he said. "Most likely, though, in your back, shoulder, arm, or neck. Possibly in your thigh or hand." Nicole said, "That night, after I had been with Damon and Dorothy, I woke up because there was a bump on my neck that was irritated, itching, but also burning a little bit. I thought it was just a mosquito bite. How big would one of those devices be?" "Not big. They can be about as small as an ant or a grain of rice," he said. He opened a drawer and pulled out a device. "Let me see the spot." Nicole stood up and turned her back to him. She lifted her hair and pointed to the spot on her neck. He held the device over the spot in question and decided that he would not tell her that he was certain he was seeing a microchip. There was no use in causing her anxiety when there was nothing he could do about it. "It's hard to tell," he said, "but it's possible. We just need to get to Joel ASAP." He pulled something like a metallic patch out of his desk along with some duct tape. "If there is a chip in there, this will block or at least scramble any signal that might be transmitted. It'll be uncomfortable, but I think it'd be a good idea to cover that area just in case, okay?" She pulled her hair out of the way and let Sam cover the spot in question. Realization began dawning on Nicole, and she sat back down with a dazed look on her face. "Sam, if there is a device, how long before they could track me here?" "Good question," he said. "Under normal circumstances, I'd say they'd be able to track you all along the way. They should have been here by now. So, either I'm wrong about the device, or the Holy Spirit's blocking the signal. There have been enough miracles that I'm thinking it's the latter. Either way, I know that the next step is to go see Joel." "I'm scared, Sam." "I'm sure you are," he said, "and understandably so, but don't be afraid of Joel. He won't make you do anything that you don't agree with. His goal will be to make sure you're free from the enemy's control so that you won't be vulnerable to them anymore, and he'll work with you and won't try to control you. He'll want you to stay in control." He paused a moment and leaned forward. "I believe that it's going to be okay, Nicole. God's been directing our paths and protecting us, and I know he'll continue to do that. So what do you say? Will you go?" "Nicole, remember." She closed her eyes, and her time with the Lord came to her mind. "This is the way to go. Walk in it, and when you are afraid, trust in me." She opened her eyes and said, "I believe you're right, Sam. Yes, I'll go." He smiled. "Good girl. Our plane leaves for Washington, D.C. in," he looked at his watch, "2 hours. "You already got the tickets? I better go let Maria know." She left the barn and saw that the clouds were gathering once again in preparation for another storm. A picture of her life at the moment. She didn't see Maria, and when she stepped into the kitchen, she called out, "Maria, where are you? I have news." Maria popped her head out from the laundry room door. "I am here, my Nicky." She came into the kitchen carrying a basket of clothes to be folded and set it on the chair at the table. "What news?" she asked as she picked up Nicole's jeans and began to fold them. Nicole reached for a shirt and began to help fold as she answered, "We are going to Washington, D.C. in a few hours. Thank you for doing the laundry. We'll need to pack a few things. I hope Abigail won't mind me borrowing a few of her clothes." She looked up at Maria and saw that she had stopped folding the jeans and had become very still. While she watched, a tear appeared in her eye and began making its way down her cheek. Nicole asked, "Maria, what's wrong?" Sam walked in the back door and was headed for the coffee pot when he realized how quiet it was. Becoming uncomfortable, he said, Looks like I'm intruding on something here. I'll be back later." No, Sam, please stay. I was just telling Maria that we need to get ready to go. She must be sad. Maria suddenly looked up with strength of will and an air of peace that had not been there a moment ago. Miss Nicky, Mr. Sam, Maria cannot go with you. Surprised and confused, Nicole asked, "Why would you want to stay here alone?" Maria smiled, stepped closer to Nicole, and took hold of her hands. "My job is complete here now. Jesus, He loves you so much." Maria gently laid her soft hand on Nicole's cheek. "He wants you to know that He is always with you, and He will always help you. You are never alone. The path you are on is difficult, but His Spirit is strong in you. You have been trained for such a time as this. There are many who are relying on you to be His hands and feet. Rescue those who are being led away to death. This is the path you are on. It is time for Maria to go. There will be others. Have no fear, Miss Nicky. Strengthen limp hands. Steady weak knees. Tell those who are terrified, be brave. Do not be afraid. Your God will come with vengeance, with divine revenge. He will come and rescue you." Nicole noticed that the room that had been darkened by the storm clouds outside had suddenly been lit up as if the light had been turned on. The light increased in brightness until she had to close her eyes against the intensity of it. Maria had let go of Nicole's hand, and she heard her say, "Goodbye, my little Nicky." Nicole opened her eyes, and the room had returned to its former darkness. Maria was gone. She stood there in shock, trying to comprehend what had just happened. Without moving, she called out, "Sam?" "Yeah, I saw." Slowly she turned around to face him and said, "Maria was an angel." "Yeah, she was," he responded in awe. Jake had taken a few days off of work, and by the afternoon of the second day, he was more concerned than ever. Jake went outside and called Casey, who came over right away when she heard the concern in Jake's voice. He didn't put his concerns into words. He wasn't even sure how to do that. Casey and Nicole sat out on the front deck to visit. After about 15 minutes, Nicole excused herself and went to go lay down. Jake walked Casey out to her car. Before she even said anything, Jake could tell that she was disturbed too. "I don't know, Jake. Something's very wrong, more than a little bit. I don't know what to think, and I feel like I just need to go home and pray before I say anything else. But be careful." "Thanks, Casey. Be in touch." She gave him a hug, and as she drove down the driveway and out of sight, he realized he didn't want her to go. Well, it wasn't her. It was the presence that surrounded her. He was suddenly aware that one of the things that was especially troubling about Nicole since the ordeal was that something seemed to be missing. Casey had brought it back with her, and it felt as if it was leaving with her. It was the presence of God in a tangible way that had been in his wife and was in Casey. He knew that God was with him and in him. However, Nicole had set the stage in their home through her love and relationship with Jesus as Casey did, and he realized that that was gone. As he walked back to the house, he felt that he was entering back into that emptiness, only worse, for his wife was not herself, and he had no idea what to do. Jake was feeling very lonely, frightened, and uncertain. "Jesus," he prayed as he walked back to the house, "I need you. Please help us." He didn't see Jair, who was sticking closer to him than ever before, or the reinforcements that began appearing around the house as he prayed, but he did have a measure of peace that he had not felt a moment before.